The world's population is growing by as many people as the entire population of Germany every year. And by 2050, we'll be close to 10 billion people. The world will have to double its food production, and one of the major challenges is to find the balance between our basic needs while protecting nature. I am the environmental manager at United Plantations, a Malaysian palm oil producer for over 100 years. Oil palm cultivation is the most important crop in Malaysia, and environmentalists have often targeted the industry. The ambivalent reality is that there is total lack of knowledge of what is being done here. Now let me share with you what United Plantation does in its various agriculture operations. At United Plantations, the reality looks very different. For example, here at Lima Blas Estate, which we acquired in 2004. Even though we kept this large conservation area, we were able to increase our production by 25% at the estate.
Now this plantation was cleared in 1929, but this 210 acres of pristine primary forest was kept intact. It's millions of years its ages, and so our challenge now is to make sure that the sustainability prolongs, to maintain what Mother Nature has given us and the ecosystem. I'm standing below a ficus tree, locally known as pulai, which is about 150 years old. Now this primary forest here supports a very large gene pool of 400 species of flora. Amongst this flora here, it also supports very high biodiversity. We have a lot of wild animals here, wild boars, tapirs, slow lories, 4 different types, species of monkeys. We have snakes. We even have the king cobras, which habitate here.
This is what we do at UP, growing oil palm and harvesting fresh fruit bunches, the raw material used for palm oil. These plantations are monoculture like many other forms of agriculture. For generations, it has been of utmost importance to us at UP to operate in a sustainable manner. Very strict measures are followed to ensure that the impact on nature is minimal, while we at the same time ensure high productivity. Fertilizer recommendations for the palms are based on leaf and soil analysis, and we are in the laboratory here where its nutrient status is being determined, and appropriate recommendations are made so as to ensure its accuracy. When the laboratory has confirmed the exact amount of fertilizer to be applied, we ensure that this mechanical spreader is calibrated and the actual amount is applied. When we experience an outbreak of backworm infestation and when we have to intervene with chemicals, we administer the chemicals through a trunk injection system where a hole is drilled and the chemical is injected into it and plucked after it. So in this way, our treatment is very specific. It goes to the systemic system of the plant and the target pest is destroyed. Unlike aerial spraying and fogging, where you have collateral damage to biodiversity. Red ants are abundant on fruit trees.
So what we do is we harvest the nest of the red ants from the fruit trees and transfer it into the oil palm plantation to encourage the existence of red ants to act as predators in the oil palm. Basically, the habitat from the fruit tree and the oil palm plantation is similar, so they are easily adaptable to the oil palm when released in the fields.
The millions of rats at our plantations are not eliminated by use of harmful pesticide, as in most plantations. At UP, we let our nature maintain its own balance by employing 2,000 owls, which reduce the rat population by 1.5 million per year. Compared to soybean cultivation, for instance, this plantation uses 50 times less pesticide per ton of oil produced.
Yeah, what you see here is the remnants of the rat skeletons which were regurgitated by the barn owls after a heavy meal. And what you see below here are several skeletons of the rats, which is a living testimony of the good job the barn owl does. Okay, this is yet another one of our integrated pest management controls, where we place the pheromone or hormones here, which attracts the rhinoceros beetles. Now, these rhinoceros beetles damage our palm shoots. So they get attracted over here, they fall into this bucket, and as you can see here, we have a handful of beetles which we had collected overnight. These yellow flowers which you see here, apart from its aesthetic value, they are beneficial plants which are specifically planted to encourage the bugs which feed on the caterpillars which damage the foliage of the oil palm. So in this manner, we are able to maintain a biological control. I'm in a knee depth of luxuriant cover crop which is prevalent in this plantation here. Now these cover crops are very specifically planted in between the palm rows so as to have an even nice ground coverage, whereby we are able to control erosion. We are also able to control the growth of noxious weeds, and it also has a unique ability of trapping nitrogen from the atmosphere and fixing it into the soil. Now this nitrogen is very essential nutrient for the palms. Now apart from that, these leaves, when they decay, they also decompose and go back as organic fertilizer. And I'm very passionate about this cover crop, Mucuna bracteata, which I personally introduced into this part of the world in 1991.
Oil palm has a life cycle of 25 years, after which they are shredded and spread around as organic material.
We are in the midst of an oil palm replanting. Now, if you had put the clock back 20 years ago, you wouldn't have been seeing this biomass behind me. It would have been all burnt and bare ground. But right now, we subscribe to the zero burn policy, where no burning is done to the old stand. The old oil palms are shredded and windrowed here, as you can see behind me. And this biomass adds value to the soil. As it decomposes, it enriches the soil with organic matter.
UP's latest commitment to the environment is our effort to limit the greenhouse gas emissions. For example, we produce green energy at our biomass and biogas plants. This reduction of CO2 amounts to the emissions from 15,000 cars.
We are in the state-of-the-art biomass reciprocating boiler, where waste generated from the palm oil mill is converted into bioenergy and organic fertilizer. The bioenergy is utilized for the oil mill operations and domestic power supply. This is the organic fertilizer converted from the palm oil mill's waste. In the process of extracting crude palm oil in our mills, the discharge is known as the palm oil effluent. And under normal circumstances, the palm oil effluent is discharged into the watercourse after a series of treatment. However, here we are at the biogas plant where the effluent is trapped and put up to the facultative tanks that you see behind me, and from there methane gas is trapped and we send it over to our refinery, and in the refinery it is used to run our boilers. Now in this process, this biogas which we produce is able to displace 80% of our dependency on fossil fuel at the refinery. As I stand beside the Burnham River, which is the life of United Plantation Berhad for over a century, with Ulu Burnham facing me, John Dorata on my left, and Sungai Burnham on my right, allow me to re-emphasize our commitment towards the environment and the various agriculture operations which we carry out in harmony with it.